Hey guys, what's up? How's it going? It's Craig, Spirit of Vinyl. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope everything's going good for everybody out there. This week for me has been really busy when it comes to gathering more albums. I've had a hell of a week, to tell you the truth. I'm going to kind of show some stuff I picked up. You know, normally I do the pickups at the end of the month or whatever, but this week has just been something else. I went to my record store last weekend. I kind of mentioned it a little bit, and they got a bunch of stuff in. He bought this collection, and I went down and I bought some stuff last Friday, and then I went back on Wednesday and picked up more stuff, and I went there again today and picked up more stuff. So I've kind of, I've spent a lot of cash in the last week, I got to admit, but it's not every day that stuff like this just shows up at your local record store. So I thought I'd share. One of them I'm going to go to first is something I already had, but I kind of replaced. So I bought this copy of Kiss Alive. This is a 2014 repress. It's got, the gatefold with the pictures of the first three albums and the little notes from the band, and it looks just like the original one I have. Everything's pretty much the same. I bought it. It has the book that came with it, which is really cool. It's got pictures of the band, and I did not. This is all just basically a repress of the original one from '74. If that's right, if I'm remembering correctly. Don't quote me on that. But I did not. I've never had the book with it or anything else. If I did, I don't remember what I did with it. So that was in it. Nice 180 gram repress with the cool brown Casablanca logos. And honestly, my original copy, the cover's kind of beat up and it sounds okay, but I thought, why not just replace it? It was $35 or whatever, so I bought that, and just to kind of have a nicer copy more than anything else. Then the other one I picked up last week, which I showed kind of at the end of last week's episode, but I hadn't listened to this yet, was this Michael Shaker Group album. This is an OG press from 1981. It's on Chrysalis Records. There's the back right there. It's got the, the Chrysalis inner sleeve. It's got the blue label on there. And when I just kind of showed this at the end of last week's episode, I hadn't had a chance to listen to it yet, and this is a really good record. I've listened to it like 3 times this week. This is an excellent album. The guitar work is unbelievable. Just really, really good. I really enjoyed this. It was an $8 purchase. It was well worth the money. I thought it was really good. Are You Ready to Rock? I mean, there's your track listing right there. I didn't really know any of these songs. This is, Michael Shaker is one of those guys we all knew growing up, coming of age in the 80s. We all know who Michael Shaker is. He was Rudy's brother, and yeah, he was in the Scorpions in the early stuff, but I never really listened to the early stuff. And, I know he's in UFO, and I was never that huge of a fan of that band either, but this is really, really good stuff. This has got Gary Barden on vocals. I know they changed vocalists throughout the career of this band, from what I understand. This is the only Michael Shaker I have. This is an excellent album. And if the other stuff that sounds as good as this, I may continue to buy it if I can find it. So, all right. Then I also showed this at the end of last week. Megadeth Endgame. This is a 2021 repress from Argentina. This album originally came out in 2019. There's the track listing on that right there. And besides Head Crusher, I really didn't know a whole lot about this album. I'm a big Megadeth fan, but I kind of checked out for a little while and then kind of got back into them. And these middle albums, Endgame and stuff, is stuff I'd never really owned copies of. I kind of stopped at The World Needs a Hero and then caught back up once like 13 came out. And so, but this is really good. I liked it a lot. I listened to this. I'm a huge fan. This is really, really good stuff. Like I said, this is from Argentina. It's on BMG Records. There's your label right there. I didn't have any inner sleeves or anything, nothing exciting about it. But if I remember from what I've figured out, is the only record I have that comes from Argentina. All right, so when I was there buying that, I bought that Megadeth album. I went up to the counter to check out with that Michael Shankner and the Kiss and the Megadeth album. And he's like, oh, what about these Megadeth albums? And he had more Megadeth that I didn't own. And I was like, he goes, I haven't priced them yet. I don't know what they're going to cost or whatever. I'm like, I'll take this one, this one, this one, pulled them out. And he's like, okay, I'll price them within the next day or two. You can come back and pick them up. So I went back on Wednesday and I picked up The World Needs a Hero. This is a 2019 repress. And I can't remember right off the top of my head when this album originally came out. It's got a little crease right there, which I don't really care for. It is a gatefold. There's the original front cover of this record. It originally looked like that. I have this on CD, but I've never had it on vinyl. Like I said, I don't see a date besides 2019 on here. These are American press. This is an American press. It's got, like I said, there's lyrics. It's a double. And it's on black vinyl, and there's your label right there. It's got Vic coming out of the body. Yeah, it's a double record set. Great record. I've always loved this. Like I said, this was kind of the last Megadeth album I had bought, and then, like I said, I kind of stopped paying attention for a while until 13 came out a few years back. So, Disconnect, World Needs a Hero, Motorpsycho, 1,000 Times Goodbye. I mean, I love everything on this record. I've always loved this album. I thought it was great. So, yeah, so I picked that up, which was basically this. And the reason I checked out is because after this happened, then Dave's hand got hurt, and the band was like, oh, we're going to break up or whatever. And, then when he came back, Dave Ewelson's not in the band anymore, and I kind of stopped paying attention to what they were doing. But you know how it goes when you're a fan of a band, you have to keep going. So the next one I picked up on Wednesday, The System Has Failed. This is also a 2019 repress. Once again, the only date in the back is 2019, and I'm not going to go through and look up when they all came out. This is one that came out after The World Needs a Hero. It's got Blackmail of the Universe, Die Dead Enough. Those are the main songs that if you're a fan that I've heard. Let's see if I can get that to come in. There's your track listing right there. This was meant to be a Dave Mustaine solo album. This was after he had healed and done the rehab on his hand and was able to play the guitar again. And he got Chris Poland, one of the original Megadeth guitarists, to join him on this. And I want to say James Lomenzo is playing bass on here. And he kind of, actually on this record, he's using studio musicians for bass and drums. When they went on tour, is when they brought James Lomenzo in to join the band. So Chris Poland's back in playing with Dave. Like I said, this was meant to be a Dave Mustaine solo record, and the record company says, hey, why don't you just make it a Megadeth record? So this was a single, came with this inner sleeve that's got lyrics and notes on it. And there's your label right there. Said it's on BMG. All these are on BMG. They sound excellent in my opinion, and you know, this is a great record, and I'd never really listened to the whole thing, like, ever, you know, and I knew, like, Blackmail of the Universe and Die Dead Enough, those type of things come on streaming when you're streaming thrash music and stuff on your Amazon or whatever, but I'd never heard this whole record ever until earlier this week, and this is excellent, excellent stuff. So, and of course, you know, I'm a huge Megadeth fan, so I'm a little biased. And then the album that came out after that is another one I picked up, and that's United Abominations. And this is also a 2019 repress. And this one is a gatefold, but it is only a single. Check out this gatefold, dudes. Look how awesome that is. Let's see if I can get all that in there. I opened this up. I was like, holy shit, look how badass Vic looks right over here. Look at that. Pretty cool. There's the back cover there. Washington's Next, United Abomination, Gears of War. There's your track listing. This To Lamone is a remake of the one that was on Cryptic Writings with Christina Scabbia of Lacuna Coil singing with him. Came with the same type of inner sleeve with the record, with the lyrics on there, and it came with this cool insert with the picture of the band on one side and Vic on the other side. This album is really, really good. This United Abominations, this album is really good. I really dug this one a lot. So, yeah. So that's what I did with all the Megadeth stuff. And that's what I picked up Wednesday, because those were the three he showed me when I bought Endgame. Like, I got all these other Megadeth albums in there. He also had So Far So Good So What and Rust in Peace and, Peace Sells and all that, which I already own. So had a whole bunch of it. Multiple copies of that, multiple copies of Endgame. So basically on vinyl, I now have all the Megadeth but 2 records. So if anybody's got a copy of Risk they want to sell, it would be unofficial because they'd never press that on vinyl. And I need Super Collider. Those are the 2 I need. So if you guys have those, you want to send them to me, or maybe we can talk, just send me a message. Yeah, so I need Risk and Super Collider to finish my discography of Megadeth. And then today I went down there because he had a Dokken record, but I bought the Megadeth. I'm like, I'm going to go down and I'm going to pick up that Dokken record. Well, I got there and the Dokken record was there, but I did not pick up the Dokken record, and I'll tell you why in a minute. So this was one reason why. Metal Church The Dark. I picked this up today. This is from 1986. This is Metal Church's second album. There's the back. There's your track listing. It's on Elektra Records. It's got the original Elektra sleeve inside of it there. And then it had this insert with song lyrics and notes on it. And as soon as I saw that, I'm like, okay, I'm going to pick up this Metal Church record. And I had the Dokken record in my hands. So I haven't played this yet, but I do remember hearing this from back in the day when I was a kid. This came out in 86. I would have been a junior in high school. I remember having this on tape at one time. So, but yeah, I paid $32 for this. I mean, you never find this out in the wild. But finding this in the wild, I was like, okay, taking this Metal Church record home with me no matter what happens. So I had that, and I had the Dokken record in my hand. Then I went up to the counter, and I saw that he had this. And Testament, Practice What You Preach. This is a 2025 repress. Just came out like a couple weeks back. So I had to buy this instead. I'm going to listen to this way more than I'm going to listen to Dawkins' Back for the Attack. And that Back for the Attack's been there for a few weeks. I'm hoping it'll still be there when I go back. Came with this cool insert. These are Nuclear Blast represses, like I said, from 2025. And it's on this cool orange vinyl that kind of matches the cover. It's got the guy from the front on that. So as soon as I saw this, I put the Dokken back because I only had so much money. Because, I've bought like 9 records in the last week. Don't tell the wife, okay? So she doesn't watch the videos, so she'll never know. So yeah, so that's ended up basically what my week has been like. Record store last Friday, then Wednesday, then today, and I'd already spent enough cash, so I put the Dokken album back and I picked up the Testament album instead. I will listen to the Testament album way more than I'm going to listen to that Dokken record, so that's why I made that decision, and hopefully I don't regret it. Hopefully when I go back next week or whatever, that Dokken album will be there again, or still, it's been there for a while, so I'm hoping it'll hold up until I decide to buy it. So yeah, these are the types of things from this collection that my record store had bought. All those Megadeth, there was Metallica, that's where I got like that Aerosmith and the Metallica one I talked about a couple weeks back. All that comes from this same collection that he bought from this guy. So he's putting out a little bit at a time, and we will see what happens, and I may end up buying a whole lot more. Who knows? So anyway, that's pretty much what I've been doing this week. I hope you guys are doing well. There's no cheers tonight and no drinking tonight because my work has a meeting tomorrow morning, mandatory safety training or whatever. So I got to be to work tomorrow at 7 a.m. So I'm not drinking tonight, but I'm going to make up for it tomorrow night. So anyway, thanks again for watching. I really appreciate you putting up with this Megadeth fan and my obsession with that band and, with music as a whole. I appreciate you guys. Thank you much. You guys all take care out there, and I'll talk to you all in a week or so.